You could do super after the sweep, but it will not connect fully. It's very strange. So because of the way OTGs work in CotA,
Oh my god. What is up, y'all? KRCPinto here. Welcome back to Secret Sauce. Today we're taking another deep look at X-Men Children of the Atom. We brought back the man, JDestroyer, and today we're talking about boss character Juggernaut. JDestroyer, dude, this character only available through the boss hack. What made you want to pick him up? I know you play a lot of characters. I don't want to call him your secondary, but like as an alternate main, what is appealing to you about Juggernaut here?
so there's like a little bit of a meme in the community that Cyclops has really big buttons, and I like pressing big buttons with big hurt boxes or big hit boxes on the screen. And Juggernaut is literally that guy. Like if you look, he's got buttons for days that will just destroy you. Big man,
Dude, love that. He's definitely a big old beat 'em up machine, which hard not to
yeah,
love that. But
for
yeah, man,
sure.
this character's a little unorthodox, so we're gonna explore what makes him tick, figure out how you could use him in a tournament setting, and yeah, man, I'm excited to get started. You ready?
Yeah, for sure. Let's get it.
All right, let's do it. All right, let's start it off with our elevator pitch for Juggernaut. So sell me Juggernaut in a full sentence. If someone was gonna pick him up, what's the sell of this character?
If you want a character that can end the match in like 3 hits, no combos required, this is your guy.
No combos required is a fun little caveat there.
No combos required. Just hit him with a good few placed heavy punch buttons, and you're good to go.
So yeah, we talked about this a little bit before we were on camera. You tell me he's not a combo character, and it's because he's a boss in the game. So in lieu of combos, are you're just trying to catch stray hits constantly? Is that just like the goal here?
So yeah, he does have, I believe, one infinite, but I would have to find it. It's kind of janky. Because obviously the CPU, when you fight Boss Juggernaut, he doesn't do any combos on you. He just hits you. He has a bunch of ways to wall you out with his body splash. He has this very big heavy punch buttons,
Right.
and then his super does a lot of damage. It's crazy. It's just big buttons. It's
Just
big
big
buttons that hit
buttons.
you that do a lot of damage and a lot of stun.
You know, I like that. It's a simple game plan. It's a
Very
good life.
one brain cell game plan. Yeah.
What is your favorite move of his and why?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. If you super jump or regular jump, he has the body splash. If you just look at that, it speaks for itself, honestly.
Dude, that is active. That stays out
It's
for.
it's
Is it the whole
active, but let me
fall?
tell you the worst part is that he has armor for everything. He just passively has armor. So this, you are not touching this.
Dude,
You
that's
have to air
hilarious.
grab him, which is easier said than done. But this is a god move. It's a cross up. It's big damage. It slaps him to the ground. There's a lot. There's a lot here.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in the middle, that's like a third of the screen is red right
Yeah.
now. Let's talk about your game plan with him a bit. So,
Okay.
so Juggernaut is obviously friggin' huge.
Yep.
Um, how does his neutral game work? What's your approach to playing neutral with him?
So me specifically, um, like we joke about the big buttons, like this, he has very big hitboxes, but the caveat is that he's slow. So you gotta place, you have to wall the opponent out. So by doing, a lot of it is actually just gonna be you going back. You're gonna go near them, but you want to drift away and drift around them and put the hitboxes out because they're gonna run into something and they're gonna eat a lot of damage. They only have to get hit a couple times, make a couple mistakes, and then you're in there, right? So you can wall them out with your big buttons. They're gonna run into a big button and be like, "Damn, I got hit. All right, now I gotta block." And then you could just run up and do your jabs. His jabs, funny enough, for how big he is, are actually very fast. And it's look at how far it is. You're not hitting him.
Dude,
And if it is, it's a bad trade for them because of his arm. So he could just keep just punching you. It's a little damage, but it adds up, right? If you eat a bunch of jabs. And then body slam. He also has Earthquake, I forgot. Earthquake is a low hitting attack that travels. So that kind of keeps the space on the screen controlled.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know this isn't really a zoning heavy game, but like, how does he fare against characters with good projectiles, like Cyclops HP or like Psylocke's little butterfly thing? How does he deal with that stuff? Okay.
So because of the armor, he kind of doesn't have to deal with it. I mean, he still has to be careful because his armor is also, it can be a bad thing when he's doing a move and he gets locked in the animation. A lot
Right.
of characters can take that opportunity to throw him if you do the wrong move, or like this move is very bad. You don't want to use this move like ever because he's just stuck there. You can't move. They can do a raw super on him, which is wild because supers are very slow in this
Right.
game. Soon people don't usually do raw supers, but for Juggernaut, since he's stuck in place for so long, you can hit him with a raw super and he'll destroy him. Like Cyclops Mega Optic Blast actually might be good in this matchup.
I also I always keep the wiki pulled up while we're doing these, and I'm seeing in his
I don't.
weaknesses that he's prone to hit grabs. Is that because of the armor state too?
Yeah, so I think there's some tech with Colossus, I want to say, where he could do like a jab into the move forward, grab, spin throw.
Right.
Um, that's the thing that I want to mention. He can't. He doesn't have an air throw, so
Oh.
air throws are very good against him, and that means that his throwing is not good. Like, I mean, he could throw you. He's very susceptible to throws because of the armor, right?
Right.
So a lot of people, you want to throw him, you land the throw, you end the game. He's considered a light character, or no, I don't want to lie, but he's lighter than he looks for being how as large as he is. So combos are pretty consistent on him,
Is
and
he the
he's big.
same weight class as Colossus?
Yeah, he's slightly lighter than Colossus, but heavier than Silver Sand.
Oh, okay.
He,
Light.
we could say he's the lightest of the super heavies.
Okay. Heard.
Yeah.
Cool. And then yeah, the other weakness I'm seeing here is despite the big hitboxes, he is also obviously a huge target for other good hitboxes, right?
Yeah. So characters can, like, when he's throwing stuff out, definitely get pot shots in on him. The best way I would say to approach it is doing a hit and run style, like taking your hits where you can get them and then just blocking for the most of the time. It's a very slow, like you're chipping at his health bar by getting straight hits on with punishing his long recovery.
Right.
Easier said than done, of course, with like a lot of this.
Right. But that stuff in mind, I mean, it makes sense why you're, preaching like a kind of float back neutral, make them run into the buttons instead of approaching with the big buttons, because you don't want to get like that taken advantage of when you're trying to approach, right? Is that like
Yeah,
a correct read on that?
yeah, because the CotA drifting is very unique in the which you can like he'll super jump at you but drift just out of range, so you can't grab him or hit him,
Gotcha.
and it'll be very annoying to deal with. People hate this game.
What's he got in the way of like special moves for the neutral? Obviously, he's got the earthquake one. Is there anything else going for him? He looks like a character who would have like a charge or something, anything like that.
So, funny enough, since he's a boss character, he doesn't really have that much. Like, this body splash, I believe in later games becomes a special move, but this is just a command normal. This is down heavy punch. His specials, Earthquake. Oh, that's Sidorak. Well, let me talk about Sidorak then. He does that like
Right.
move, and he turns, starts flashing red. This gives him a super crazy power up. So look, the damage I'm about to do is look at
Oh my
that. A
god.
chunk. Yeah. But usually people get this by accident. Nobody, I don't think, does this on purpose because it overlaps with Earthquake. I think it's DP punch. I don't actually know what the input for Sidorak is, but usually get it on accident because it makes him stand in place looking like an idiot, and the opponent, if they're ready, will run up and grab you and destroy you for it.
Right.
But the damage is insane. So sometimes you can cheeky get away from it because they're scared, they're blocking, from full screen, and then they don't realize it until he's done. Earthquake. I see. I did it again. Earthquake. It hits low, which is actually pretty good. It travels decent distance across the screen. Like this goes all the way across. Hitting low is important because he has these stomps, these kicks, just his regular kicks that are overhead. I believe the medium and the heavy are both overhead, so you can do a pseudo unblockable or like a difficult to block situation with it, but it's hard to do because again he's super slow.
Wait,
So you would
his
have to
his
like wave dash
five
across the screen.
his 5 MP and 5 MK and 5 HK are both just standard overheads?
I believe so. So let's test this right now. Yep, medium kick, heavy kick. Yep, both overheads.
Good God!
Which
All
is
right,
weird
that's a knowledge check.
because, right, the light one isn't. So look, they all look the same, by the way. Oh, it is. I'm lying to you. See, this is why I don't want to know. I'm holding down back with Cyclops. But the thing is, again, boss character status, all the kicks look exactly the same. So the only difference is the speed in which the attacks come out.
Good Lord. Okay, fair enough. So we do have a low traveling projectile. Obviously, like when the opponent character is actually playing the game, I feel like they spend a lot of time doing similar to what you're doing, like floating around in the air, doing super jump movement. So how often is the earthquake actually like useful in a neutral situation?
So it's really good when the opponent is like in the corner situation and you're mid-screen controlling this whole space because you have this, like a jump heavy punch swatting at the air, so you're covering that upper top left area.
Right.
You have body splash, which if they try to get out, they're gonna run into this. You have your jabs, so you're locking down. Like I'm pointing at the screen, but basically you're locking down that whole section, that whole rectangle of the screen. That is all you, right?
Right.
So they're like, oh man, I want to block the jabs. The jabs, I think, are pivotal to his gameplay because it's fast, it beats everything, it trades well. Like you want to do this, it keeps them blocks them. Oh, I believe his does chip. So I don't know. I want to say all his normals do chip, right? Yeah,
Yeah, it looks
those
like
the
a little
jabs.
bit at least.
Yeah, it does a point of chip. But like I said, if you look at the health bar, it's on 140. Like 2 points of damage, 2 points of damage, 2 points of damage. You know, it racks up.
Yeah, especially when you're getting like the actual hits are taking off like 40 points of damage.
Right. So, and then he hits you with an earthquake, or you get hit by one random move, earthquake, jab, jab. You know,
Yeah.
his sweep goes really far. It's a big box, knocks him down. Go for some shenanigans where, depending on what character it is, because of the variable wake up times, you knock them down, super jump, cancel it, and then you go for a body splash, which is like an ambiguous left-right situation going on there. So look, they kind of gotta they gotta know, or
Yeah.
maybe not. Difficult to block.
Let's talk about his pressure game. So,
Okay.
um, I like the situation you were highlighting earlier, where you've got them in the corner, you're like well spaced, and you're threatening a lot of spaces. Is that typically what you want it to come down to when you're playing as Juggernaut? Like, do you prefer that little gap between you to control as opposed to like being in their face for block pressure?
Yeah, for Juggernaut, you never want to be straight up against them. You want to be at arm's length, like right here. Out of throw range is key, right? Because if you're up in their face and you mess up, they're throwing you. They're throwing you and you're done. So you want to be at least a little ways out so you can safely establish your jab pokes. I guess you call this your jab pokes, right? So you're gonna be using your light punch, your earthquake. If they get they get scared blocking the earthquake, you can dash up, do a short overhead real quick, and then do heavy punch if they try to jump because that is like an anti-air, or crouch heavy punch, and then you could super jump, follow it up, hit them with a combo, or well, if what's the combo he has. um, and you just have that whole space to work with. You could do a sweep. Dash sweep is pretty good because of the distance it covers. Like you don't expect him to hit you from here, but he does. And they're like, "Oh man, my legs." A lot of people in this situation are gonna up back, which is pretty strong against him, because he can't air throw you. So
That
you
makes
just
sense.
rack on the pressure and the chip on them, and then like, damn, I really want to stop blocking. So you eventually chip them out, or you kill them. You hit them.
So basically, every single character I've talked to you and the others about so far, in their pressure game, a lot of it boils down to like a strike throw setup because throws are so good in this game. Does Juggernaut do that on the ground? Is he like, are you going for like setups to get your throws with him?
Hell no. Okay, so
No. Okay, see, this
no.
is unique because this is the first character where that's not like a crucial piece.
So the thing is his throw is kind of bad. I can't even throw because I have the pipe on. I don't know if he could. Yeah, he drops it. Okay, his throws are kind of but like you see how fast the opponent recovers.
Yeah.
That one's all right. Usually you throw and then you could sweep, and it gives you a knockdown. That's what he gets off of it. You get the knockdown, and then you go into like body splash shenanigans.
Right.
But I don't know. He doesn't get like cool infinites off of his throws or combos or anything. It's just you threw them. And I think going for throws as him is super risky because you don't want to get thrown yourself because you're so big and you'll die. Not only that, but his throw tech, I cannot confirm, but everybody that has played and used him can agree that his tech window is very tight. It seems to be more difficult than the other characters to get a throw tech off.
Right.
Like you really got to be jamming on the throw tech to get it. So don't know what that's all about. Might be some weird quirky boss thing.
Okay. So, but generally, just not really worth it. The reward's not there. It's not like a guaranteed stun like you would get with, Colossus or Cyclops, right?
You also just kind of got to be close. For
Yeah.
his throw box isn't that crazy compared to the other characters, which is interesting because he's a big man. He does kind of have like a throw looping situation like that, but that's not super real. Like you can land, throw them again. That I think I've only been able to do that about twice, and then they get out of it. So
Yeah.
it's not entirely real. But nah,
Okay.
it's whack. kind
This
of
is not the character I thought was going to prefer like a space control situation over a strike throw. If I'm being honest with you, just like at a glance, that's what I get for judging. I shouldn't have. I should have come in with preconceived notions about the big guys.
Oh, one thing to know, I don't know if we ever spoke about this in any of the things, but there is no tick throwing in this game.
Yeah, that's come up in a few of the things. Yeah.
Cool, cool. Got it. Sure. Because that's important, because people will look at it like, oh, tick throw people, you can't do that. That's just literally not a thing because of the way the hurt box interactions work or the throw boxes. They just don't appear.
What's that shoulder charge you're using?
What do you mean?
You're using a little shoulder charge to close the gap. Are you like dashing into a button and canceling it? What's
Like
happening there?
this?
I don't know.
Oh,
Whatever you did on knockdown, you like dash. Is that just his dash up?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's his
Okay.
dash animation. I was like, okay.
It looks like a lariat. That's why I was asking. But my
No, I
man's
did
just really
dash button.
aggressive.
He's just, yeah. His wave dash is really goofy if I can do it, yeah. It's pretty fast, though, for a big lad that he is. Like, I don't even think that's as fast. Oh, I forgot. He has a taunt,
He's a
too.
taunt. Oh,
Yeah,
does it do anything?
nothing. It's horrible. Sometimes you'll get this by accident as well. And then you'll actually just lose.
Oh,
I
jeez.
think in the recent tournament, I did it by accident, and I didn't die, so it was kind of funny.
Oh no. Let's say you've got this situation going where they're blocking your moves in the corner. They're kind of fearful for their life because you're covering the space well. Anything you're doing to try to like open them up at all, or is it like just a let them get chipped to death until they make a mistake? Like what's the game plan when you get your offensive situation? Like what's the end goal?
That's the funny thing, right? It's kind of like once they're at that edge of the screen, it's kind of a checkmate because I usually like super jumping and doing his heavy kick because look at that, it's a long box.
Yeah.
They press anything, they're getting hit, and that's keeping them in block stun. Usually the situation is they're up backing, they're super jump guarding, they're trying to drift out, you're kicking them back in the corner and then landing with body splash, like a spaced out body splash, run up jabs, and you're just tacking on the chip, and they're gonna get scared and they're going to slip up. I think is more of the way to do it because you really can't enforce anything. It really depends on the character. Counter throwers will eat you alive. You can't grab them because he'll get destroyed by that because he is a safe fall character. I think we spoke about briefly the differences between the safe fallers and counter throwers.
Right. So counter throwers, when they do their throw tech, they throw you back, like they take
Oh,
over the throw, right? And then
I'm
safe
kind of
fallers,
lying. Yes. Sorry.
yeah, safe fallers would be when they do their throw tech, they just get out of the throw, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of lying. His throw tech is weird because he does safe fall out, but the game kind of forces him to do a throw after. But it's not like a counter throw. It's he techs and then he does a throw on. He's forced to do a throw. A very weird thing. So when you play against counter throws, you can't opt not to do the throw out of your tech. So you get counter thrown again and you die. Very strange. I can't
Wait.
explain why.
Can you get Cyclops to throw him so we can like see
Yeah.
his throw tech?
Sure, can I? Let's see.
Are you trying to manually do it like with keyboard and
There it
keyboard?
is. You see that?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So he gets out, and then that snatch at the end is forced, but
His
it's
regular
not.
throw.
But it's not guaranteed. Can they like jump out before that happens? Like what happens there?
No, like it's hard to explain because counter throwers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their tech animation is them throwing, right?
Right.
This is more of a two-part sequence where he's forced to tech and then initiates his throw.
Right. So you
So
can then tech that throw.
yes.
Okay.
But the thing is, in counter thrower situations, when you're facing like Sentinel or Colossus or other characters, he's screwed because there are times when you tech a throw, you want to get out, you want to leave.
Yeah.
But because he's forced to throw, he's forced to get re, counter throw. He's forced into that situation, so you're screwed. Like you can't opt out of it. So you're just eating the counter throw, and then they get a beefy combo on you. You die.
Right. And they also, because it looks like since he like does the safe fall first, it looks like they have like time to be ready to like counter the next throw that they know is coming.
Yep.
Right. Okay, so that seems like a little bit of a knowledge check thing, but yeah, I can see how it's an issue.
It's super super goofy. Like I said, the whole game plan is you don't want to be anywhere near throw distance.
If they're a safe faller, do they like? Is there anything they can do about his counter throw, or like they just have to eat
His
it?
throw after. No, they have to eat it.
Okay.
So it goes down to who has more meter, I guess.
Right. Which
But
is what it
because
normally does anyway, right?
yeah, but the thing is like he doesn't get anything off his throw.
Right.
He gets the sweep, which is still a lot of damage. Don't get me wrong. Like look at that. That's a grip. But it's not like you're eating a whole infinite and dying.
Yeah.
It's just you get knocked down into body splash, which is still hard to deal with. But if they get the throw off after he techs because he gets grabs, he's done. That's pretty much it. I mean, like I said, wall him out, poke him out, use your big buttons. You get stun off of 1 to 2 hits average, right? 1 hit puts them in yellow, second puts them in stun. They get knocked down. You get up. Ugh, it's gross. Gross stuff.
We already talked about it a little bit. Let's circle back to his knockdown situation. So we saw the knockdown off of sweep. You're going for a left right with the body splash. That seems like pretty damn good Oki.
Yes. Yeah.
Is there any other like nuanced options you have from that? Is there anything he can do OTG that's like really worth doing? Like what else does Juggernaut get off of a knockdown situation that's important to know about?
So you can do Earthquake to make them get up into Earthquake. You see that?
Ooh.
Like it's very goofy looking.
That gave you a lot of space too.
Yeah. I've actually never really thought about it until right now.
Love that.
that whole situation, because I'm usually just going, I'm gonna body splash, and then I'm going to destroy you, right?
Right.
But no, it brings them very far, and maybe if you are in neutral space and you want to bring them to the corner, on hindsight, for the left right, you don't want them fully in the corner. You can give them a little bit of breathing room so you can actually enforce the left right more.
Right.
Like a little bit, not too much, but then you could like do that and boom. After the sweep, you can do. Can you do this? I don't want to lie. You can force them to get up if you do like double sweep. I usually I go for the body slap. I think it's the most damaging option. It's very difficult to predict on which side he's gonna be. You know, the joke is I don't even know what side he's gonna be on.
Right. Nice clean little
And
50-50 there.
and because of CotA drift, right? It's I could go left, right in such a small increment that oh well, guess you gotta guess. You know. You can do super after the sweep, but it will not connect fully. It's very strange. So because of the way OTGs work in CotA,
Oh my god.
um,
Jesus.
certain characters after the knockdown, they'll get up after the first hit and be forced to block the rest. But sometimes you want that because after his super, for some reason, and I can't explain why, on block, it's like impossible to throw him. He can actually throw you first out of his super if he mashes throw because of whether it be the spacing, the distance from the characters after the super. He's technically his throwable box is just not there or
Right.
not in a space where normal characters can reach him.
All right, so OTG, it's a little finicky though. You said it like will hit them the first hit and then they block the rest. Is that like gonna happen, or is it something that can happen?
I'm gonna say that depends on the character, I believe. So, well, I touched on this with Cyclops, but in OTGs, there's different states of being OTG'd, right? There's the sweeping knockdown,
Right.
and the first hit after the sweeping knockdown will cause the opponent to stand up and be able to act. So
Right.
if it's a multi-hitting attack, they'll get hit by one hit, which will OTG them, force them to stand up, and then they can block the rest.
Gotcha.
I
Okay.
think this was to stop them from. You see, I don't think this is real. Hold on, let me see. I'm gonna hold back on the controller just so. Um, oh, is that real? I know with Sentinel it's not. So I'm gonna go with a depends. Cyclops doesn't really count because he has very long LTG time.
Right.
With Cyclops only.
So we've got a good mix option, we've got a corner carry option, we've got a high damage option. That's a good spread, and none of it seems super complicated either.
Oh no, he's very like the one thing that might be a little annoying is the overlap between Earthquake. Earthquake is what's the input? 632. So quarter circle down. But then
Oh,
he also
okay.
has this move which is 236, which is horrible. You don't want to do this one. This move has so much startup recovery. I'm holding up, and then he gets to act. Like,
Yeah, so
don't do it.
not plausible.
No.
Okay.
You're gonna get supered, you're gonna get grabbed. Don't do it. And then
Um,
Sidorak, which I think is DP. Or, no.
632 is weird.
Yeah, it is weird. It's not a very common input, so again, not meant to be playable, right? So
Yeah.
they weren't thinking about, hey, someone might do this by accident, because the CPU will never do it by accident.
Right. Since his throw situation is not one that's going to lead to a combo, does he get all these same options off of like a regular throw? I know before you were doing throw and then like a sweep to restand them, but like do you go for the splash mix up off of like a throw knockdown ever?
So the throw, look at how far it leaves them. You can't do anything really.
Hmm.
Like, hold on, I'm gonna make the opponent hold direction. Hold on. Yeah, I don't think he really gets much off of throw. That's why I do dash sweep
Gotcha.
because of how the travel distances and You can probably do a dash body splash, but it's not going to be as ambiguous as if you
Right.
did it like right in front of them.
Okay.
He has the medium punch throw, which I touched on, has that throw looping property, but that's if you're in the corner. I don't know if it works mid screen. You might be able to get it because if they mash, the armor saves you, and then you could hit them out. But nah, it's not really anything.
Okay.
Nothing fantastic.
So better to just go for the dash up sweep then.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of. I will preach the dash up sweep because you get that nice knockdown, and that's what he thrives off of.
All right, let's look at Juggernaut on defense. So sometimes you gotta block. No one wants to,
Sometimes.
but it happens. So what is Juggernaut doing when he's in a defensive situation? You know, I know we're always looking for the Suki guard. How does he take advantage of that? You know, how's his guard cancel? What are his options here?
Uh,
He's just eating those. That's hilarious.
his his options are very slim. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. You don't want to be in a blocking situation because he your best offense, your best defense is a good offense. Where this is your dash back jab, very good. Look at the space he covers while traveling backwards. Right, this is your defensive shield.
It doesn't even look like he's traveling. It looks like you're just
He's
pushing Cyclops
sliding.
far away. It's so funny because he's so
But look
big.
at
Like
that.
it looks like the punch is shoving Cyclops instead of him like dashing back at the same time.
Right. So you see how much space I just gained from that
Yeah.
one. And this is, keeping me safe from pressure. Suki guarding his jump, but it looks slow. He gets pinned down to the ground a lot. I like to put out backwards body splashes. You have to be very worried for the throw. Like usually if I feel like I'm gonna get thrown, I'm mashing on the down 3P.
The down
I
3P.
the throw tech.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
I'm not trying to get thrown. Not at all. This is good for air to airs, like jump away button, or this, the fly swatter, the jump heavy punch. But again, you don't want to be blocking with this character. You're gonna be pressing buttons because your armor will stuff out most of the moves, except for characters that have projectiles. Like you kinda gotta hold that. Like that's why Sentinel messes him up. He gets drones, and you're just there like this the whole time, holding
Right.
the drones. Uh,
And he's no
you
Wolverine. He's not getting under a lot of stuff. Yeah.
he's not getting under. He's not getting over. Like he's not going anywhere.
Fair
He's
point.
there. You kind of gotta just punt. It's rough. Like the matchups that are bad for him are very bad, and that's why we don't think he's uh with the great characters. Right? He's above average, I would say, but he's not. People will say he's a big knowledge check character
Yeah.
and don't like fighting him because of his armor and his damage and his stun. But oof, it's not a fun time.
Okay. So, best way to defend is don't defend at all. Just beat him up.
You you should. I mean, like I said, keeping them at bay with the jabs. The jabs are going to be your option. They're going to be your get off me, super jump back, drift Suki guard if you can. But you want to keep them away. If they're trying to rush you down, it's better for you because they're going to run into a butt. And that's the
Yeah.
game. You want them to get mad. You want them to like not think about their offense and just swap them with it.
All right, I have a question about a move because
Oh,
throughout this talk, you have at various times pulled out like a steel beam, and we haven't talked about that at all. Let's talk about the steel beam move a bit.
I should have. I apologize.
No, no
So
worries.
on Juggernaut's stage, the space station, there are two steel beams that come out of the ground. Now, for whatever reason, those beams are a part of Juggernaut. So when Juggernaut is on the screen, the beams come with them. And I'll demonstrate this. I'll reset real quick to show you what it looks like. I don't know if it's on the wiki. Is it there to pick up the beam?
Nah, his wiki page isn't filled out besides the pros and cons.
Awesome. Fair enough. I did say that the last character we focus on was Juggernaut because of Juggernaut, who's not a playable character normally. So yeah, when any stage, it doesn't matter. The beams will show up right there on the P1
Oh,
and P2 sides.
yeah, there they are. Jeez, I didn't
Yep.
notice those until now.
Actually, let me show you something goofy. So while I'll show you when it comes up. I don't want to spoil it. It's very weird. I don't know if you've seen this before.
Nuh-uh.
Let's see. Let's see if we can get it. Okay, there you go. See? No beams, right?
Right.
But look where they are.
What? Why?
I have my thought process is because it has something to do with the screen, the background layer scrolling, and the
Right.
beam images, or like the sprite for the beams, are part of that parallax scrolling or whatever it's called in this.
Oh, wait, are they gone right now?
So the sprite of the beams are gone. However, can you pull it? I want to say that they're still on screen. I remember that. Yeah.
You just gotta find them.
So the beams, the sprite for the beams are gone. However, the location of the object itself is still on screen, but not visible. Don't ask me why. I don't know. I assume because the location remains static because the beams don't move. It's just the sprite because it's attached to the layer that's scrolling. But it's there. It's
So,
not very good, despite it being a big beam, because he loses access to his jabs and like it's just his jump jab animation, but on the ground with the beam in his hand. It's not very good.
so Juggernaut's playing Smash Bros. He brings items to the stage, picks them up, swings them around a bit. Do they have like a time limit or like a health limit? Like, what makes them go away?
I don't. I think does doing a super do it? Let's see. Oh, now I can't do it. I don't think. Can you do super with beam? That's the thing. I think the reason beams are bad is because you lose access to your special move. You can't do it when you have a beam in your hand.
Oh, jeez.
So that's why I'd rather just not. Don't do it.
Do the beams, when you get rid of the beam, does it go back to where it was and you can get it again, or is it gone for
Nah,
the
it's
rest of the
gone.
match?
He puts it down.
So Juggernaut has a useless install that he can use a maximum of 2 times per match.
It's kind of goofy. Like
It's pretty funny.
I've seen people pick it up. Usually you're picking it up by accident. It's bad. I'm just gonna say it's bad. But if you wanna BG's somebody, the beam is what it's at. It has a decent hitbox, but like why, right? He can't do anything else. No earthquake, no Sidorak,
He looks
no
like
super.
he's bopping a dog on the nose with a newspaper.
I mean, Wolverine deserves it. Oh,
There it is.
okay. Down kicks. So I guess when you're super jumping, where's the other beam? I wish that's the other thing, right? You just kind of gotta feel around for it, search it for the item finder, and look for it.
At least on Savage Land, it's visible in every other stage. Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe not Psylocke stage, because hers also scrolls.
Gotcha. Okay. Huh.
But yeah.
What a weird
Funny
thing.
enough, I think Wolverine loses to Juggernaut.
Really?
Yeah, because Juggernaut is so big, and Wolverine puts a lot of hurt boxes out, but he's just constantly moving around the screen. I think Juggernaut slaps him, like just you stopped him from moving around, which is his biggest strength. And because all his hit boxes are so big, Wolverine can't really maneuver around all, even though he has some of the best movement in the game. So I don't know. I think he beats him.
Let's roll with that real quick. So
Okay.
you primarily main Cyclops, but you do play Juggernaut. You busted him out in tournament recently. What are the matchups you're choosing Juggernaut for? Like, what is he useful for?
Honestly, in a scummy way, it's to knowledge check people that don't like playing against him because not a lot of people like using Juggernaut. You're using him for squishy characters, like characters that get stunned easily or have
Right.
lower defense. Like Psylocke, she don't deal with him very well. Spiral doesn't deal with him very well. I feel like it. This is weird because you'll have people tell you that Storm doesn't fight him well, or sometimes she does fight him well. If he can hit her, she's done. However, Storm can lame him out by going to the tippy top of the screen. And realistically, there is no move that Juggernaut can do that will hit her. Like at all.
Huh.
If you perfectly like lightning attack, Typhoon, lightning attack, Typhoon, he doesn't have a double jump and his super jump isn't that good. So you can't hit him. Like the best you can do is super jump heavy punch and then hope that she lands into it. But if you want it to be mega scummy, you could just time him out like that.
Gotcha.
Um let's see who else. Rex shop, right? I I don't think fighting him as Cyclops is that bad because you have some options to maneuver around. You just got to be careful. I think he beats Wolverine, which is so weird because Wolverine's so good. Talking about that, he super loses to Omega Red, and he loses to Sentinel really hard. I don't know about Iceman, but I want to say Iceman beats him because of the counter throws. I feel like counter throwers mess up Juggernaut real bad because of the thing I told you about.
Right.
And Silver Samurai, but he might do better because he's so big and the stars can keep him locked down if you can get that. The main thing, yeah, I would say about the matches, the two matches I'll say undoubtedly he loses is Omega Red and Sentinel. Omega Red's coils are paramount to destroying him. Like, all his stuff has recovery, right? And he's out for a while. He can't body splash Omega Red.
And
Because all Omega Red has to do is throw a coil at him. I'll catch him every time.
yeah, because Coil's a hit grab, right?
Yep.
Yep.
And you're not blocking when you're doing this. And there's a big moment of time when you cannot block. So it's just he's landing straight into it.
Right.
Can't jab anything. It's very bad. You get destroyed.
All right, man. We're at the spot where normally I'd say show me your sauciest combo, but he doesn't really have much in the way of a saucy combo, eh?
Uh let's see. He has I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I can do it. He has kind of an infinite, but
Just hard.
like yeah, it's not really hard. I just haven't practiced it. But he can do a small loop, but this is not something that you're going to be getting because you have to slap them down, and you're gonna slap them down into another hit and relaunch them. It's kind of like a standard loop, but why do all that when you can do one launcher into a body splash?
Oh,
You
we
know?
didn't talk about that OTG grab at all.
Oh yeah, these kinds of grabs I don't think are very good because you can mash out of it.
Right.
So the opponent, if they're fast enough, they can mash out like before you can even get the grab off. Really? Can he not? What the hell? That's weird. I wasn't mashing fast enough, but I can say from experience, yeah, you can mash out. It's not good. Most OTG grabs are not good.
Yeah, it's similar to Colossus's.
Yeah, don't do it. It's there. Again, sweep is gonna be your go-to. Sidorak into heavy punch is a good combo. That does 50%.
Let's see if you have Sidorak out,
Uh-huh.
can you do like a baby mode TOD?
Oh, for sure.
Let's
There
let's
was
see
a
that. We'll call that our saucy combo because technically they died. So does anything combo into his super?
no. Uh, that sweep thing I was telling you about. If they get ground stunned, like from a body splash, that. So
Gotcha.
instead of going for, if you have the super, you can do that as an option if they're not ready, and that does a lot. And then you could get a sweep after. Oh, that's one thing that's important. I completely misjudged that. So he has those stomps, right?
Right.
So you can cancel them early. So before the stomp connects to kind of scare them. Like, oh, but it's not really a mix. Because you can't cancel it into his crouching moves. That'd be a real mix-up. But since he doesn't have a standing low, there's standing overheads. That's one thing I forgot to mention too. I think this is the only character that has a real overhead, like a standing overhead in this game.
Right.
They don't do that in CotA at all. Very non-standard.
I think that's everything, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we hit the nail on the head, unless there's anything else you want to know about.
Not that I can think of. I think we're good.
Cool.